And this is actually a real house, a real location we shot in. One of the very few as far as main sets, but.
You see, Anthony?
You know, it's funny. A lot of the questions we get about this scene in particular are the scenes with the parents in particular is why didn't the father say more? Why didn't the father talk more? And there were some scenes where it shows the father taking Anthony out right after this scene, in fact, duck hunting, and pretty visual scenes. But in the end, we didn't use them because it added too much more to the. It added too much more time to the movie, and it wasn't significant enough as far as what they were saying. The writing wasn't all that good in those scenes. And when Anthony returns home, they go duck hunting again with his brother Edward, and Anthony almost shoots his father out of he hears something. His father steps on a twig, that cliche, whatever, and he almost shoots his father, and Edward jumps in the way. And we're just trying to show basically with those things, is the bond between him and his father, and Edward and his mother are more bonded. And his father went to the Korean War as Kirby did, and he now is just a quiet mechanic, working class man and
Passive.
Yeah, very passive. And out in the woods with his son, he was very articulate about what he believed about him going into war, and pretty much supported him in his decision. But in the end, we had to cut those scenes out, and a lot of people said that the father was soft or wasn't there. And
But I agree with the father not being there because that's a part of Anthony's personality that he took. He's almost like a cross between him and Kirby, half and half. He's passive, naive, and his father seems to be the same way. He's not a politician or anything like that. But then you look at Kirby, who was more on the seedy side, who was more on aggressive, and basically Anthony's both of those men put together.
In this scene right here, this is one of those few scenes right here that this graduation scene, which the writer had written these guys talking in 3 different locations in the script. Here in the back room, out in the back alley, and they're standing. There was just the same dialogue. It was pretty repetitious, and in rehearsals, we got together and had Chris do a lot of ad-libbing, and all the guys do a lot of ad-libbing. And I remember when we got to the set, I told them, guys, get into character over here by this doorway right here and just walk, into the room and sit down where they would sit down. And they sat right where they're sitting right now in character. And what you're hearing from them is pretty much ad-lib. It wasn't scripted, especially Chris's stuff.
I got so many hoes in there, man. I got to get an assistant pimp just to keep in track of them, make sure they on the right streets and shit.
Say, Skippy, why you always talking about this pimp stuff, man? What's happening?
Because it's real, nigga. I'm a pimp. Pimping running my family. My great-great-granddaddy was a slave, and he was a pimp. He used to have hoes pick his cotton in the field. He didn't have to do shit.
You better be careful, man. You're gonna catch something, Skip. Watch.
That's all right,
Skip, he studied Richard Pryor from the Mac, Chris Tucker. A lot of the jargon, a lot of the flow of the language and the body language also.
If you look at his walk, Chris's walk when that walk home down the street when he comes back home from Vietnam, it's like a cross between Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and Richard Pryor. And if you look at it now, it's the exact walk.
Did I tell you?
So when did that happen?
Last week, Anthony, man.
Yeah, right, motherfucker. Pass the joint.
I own that bong in that scene. That's my bong. I took it after the scene was shot.
Tight, man.
Lorenz Tate.
Alan and Albert would always say, "Yo, do the Mac, do the Mac." Chris and I would do scenes from the Mac. You know what bothers me? What bothers you? I just can't understand, man. How women just can go out and sell their bodies, baby. Dig it, baby. How you feel? I feel good. I feel up, baby. I feel good. I feel up. Yes.